Okay, let's take a look at this review that for the factoring test that is tomorrow. All right, so our first one here, we have number one, we have negative 2x squared minus 16x plus 40. Remember, you always want to factor out your GCF before you even begin to try to factor here. So our GCF is negative 2. It's negative because the first term is negative. So we end up with x squared plus 8x minus 20. All right, now I want to factor this. I want to factor x squared minus or plus 8x minus 20 because I already know one of the factors is negative 2. So I'm gonna a times c and b. So the two numbers I'm looking for are positive 10 and negative 2. That will allow me to split this up using grouping. So plus 10x minus 2x minus 20. Factor out the GCF from each of these. So x comes out of there, negative 2 comes out of there. So I can see that this factors into x plus 10 and x minus 2. All right, so bringing that back to the original problem, the negative 2 is factored out, and then x squared plus 8x minus 20 factors into x plus 10 and x minus 2. So this actually has three factors, negative 2 times x plus 10 times x minus 2. All right, three unique factors. Number 2, we have x squared minus 21, we have x squared minus 21x plus 110. All right, so a times c would be 110, b would be negative 1. Two numbers that multiply to 110 and add to negative 21 are negative 11 and negative 10. Okay, so I can use grouping to split that up into negative 11x and negative 10x. Factoring out the GCF from each of these, x comes out of here, leaving x minus 11. Negative 10 comes out of here, leaving x minus 11. And then each of these have x minus 11 in common, so I can factor that out, x minus 11, and I'm left with x minus 10. So the factored form for number 2, x minus 11 times x minus 10. Number 3, x squared plus 3x minus 12. A times c is negative 12, b is positive 3. Two numbers I'm looking for don't exist. All right, there's nothing that multiplies to negative 12 and adds to positive 3. So this actually cannot be factored, and things that can't be factored are considered prime. So number 3 is prime. Number 4, 3x squared minus 9x minus 12. Let's start by factoring out the GCF, which all of these have a 3 in common. That leaves me with x squared minus 3x plus 4, minus 4. All right, and then now I can factor this right here. Okay, so a times c is negative 4, b is negative 3. Two numbers that multiply to negative 3, add to negative 3 and multiply to negative 4 are negative 4 and positive 1. Okay, so that means I can split it up into minus 4x and plus x. Okay, I can split the middle term, negative 3x, into these two. Factor out the GCF. So factor out the x, factor out a 1. Okay, so these would have x minus 4 in common, and I'm left with x plus 1. So this factors into x minus 4 and x plus 1, and it has the GCF, the factor of 3. So this one, number 4, has three factors, 3, x minus 4, and x plus 1. Number 5, we have 81x squared minus 49. Now, if you tried to do this like this, a times c and b, it would actually be extremely difficult. It is possible, but it would be extremely difficult. Now, this is actually a difference of two squares. And we know that a difference of two squares, x squared minus y squared, factors into x plus y and x minus y. That's just the pattern that this will always follow. So this is a perfect square. This is 9x squared. And this is a perfect square. This is 7 squared. So that's our x, that's our y. X squared minus y squared will factor into x plus y and x minus y. So this factors into 9x plus 7 and 9x minus 7. Number 6, we have 2x squared minus 5x plus 1. So a times c would be positive 2, b would be negative 5. Product of 2 and sum at negative 5. Wait a minute. It looks like this one is prime as well. What is this, number 6? Yeah, we can't find anything that multiplies to 2 and adds to negative 5. So this one would be prime as well. Okay, it doesn't factor. At number 7, we have 30x squared plus 5x minus 10. Let's start by taking out the GCF, which is 5. So taking out a 5 leaves us with x squared, 6x squared plus x minus 2. And then we can factor this. Okay, so I can factor 6x squared plus x minus 2. Okay, because a times c is negative 12 and b is positive 1. So numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to positive 1 are positive 4 and negative 3. So I can split this up into 6x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 2 and factor out the GCF from here and here. So if I factor out the GCF of these two, which is 2x, I'm left with 3x plus 2. If I factor out the GCF from these two, then I'm left with negative 1 gets factored out, and I have 3x plus 2. These two have 3x plus 2 in common, so I can factor out the 3x plus 2, which would leave me with 2x minus 1. So this factors into 3x plus 2 and 2x minus 1, and don't forget the 5 that you factored already. So this has 3 factors, 5 times 3x plus 2 times 2x minus 1. Number 8, these ones actually want us to solve, so we're going to have to solve these. We want to find the solution. So our equation 2x squared plus x equals x squared plus 20. So first we get it in standard form equal to 0. So these need to come to the other side. So I'll subtract them to cancel them. So I got 2x squared minus x squared, so that's x squared plus x minus 20 equals 0. Now I can factor this. A times c is negative 20, b is positive 1. So the two numbers I'm looking for are positive 5 and negative 4. So x squared plus 5x, actually let me do the negative first. So x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 20. Factor out of the first group, so x minus 4, and factor 5 out of the second group, so x minus 4. So the factored form, x minus 4 factors out of both of these, and I'm left with x plus 5. And these multiply to make 0, which means that either x minus 4 is 0 or x plus 5 is 0. So I'm going to have two solutions. The first solution would cause the first factor to be 0, and the second solution would cause the second factor to be 0. So in order for the first factor to be 0, x would have to be 4. And in order for the second factor to be 0, x would have to be negative 5. So my solution set for number 8 is 4 and negative 5. Those are my two solutions for number 8. Number 9, still solving. 2x squared minus 9 equals 3x. I need to set this equal to 0 first, so the 3x is going to have to come to the other side. So I have 2x squared minus 3x minus 9 equals 0. So I need to factor a times c is negative 18, b is negative 3. So the two numbers I'm looking for are negative 6 and positive 3. So I can split up negative 3x into negative 6x plus 3x. And then I can factor out the GCF. So the GCF of the first group is 2x. I'm left with x minus 3. Second group, the GCF is 3. I'm left with x minus 3. So these have x minus 3 in common, so that can be factored out, and I'm left with 2x and positive 3. So I have two factors multiplied together to make 0, so either this factor is 0 or this factor can be 0, those two solutions. So x minus 3, to make that 0, x would have to be 3. And for the second factor, 2x plus 3, in order for that to be 0, I would solve that for x. X would have to be negative 3 halves for that to be 0. So I've got two solutions here, 3 and negative 3 halves. All right, number 10, I've got 2x squared plus 12x minus 7 equals x minus 1. All right, set this equal to 0, so minus x and plus 1, minus x and plus 1. So we got 2x squared plus 11x minus 6 equals 0. A times c is negative 12, b is positive 11, because I'm trying to factor this now. So the two numbers I'm looking for are positive 12 and negative 1. Those multiply to make negative 12. They add to make positive 11. So I can split this up into minus x and plus 12x and factor the GCF out of the first group, leaving us 2x minus 1, and factor the GCF out of the second group, leaving, GCF of the second group is 6. Factor a 6 out, leaving 2x minus 1. Both of these have 2x minus 1, so that can be factored out. And I'm left with x plus 6. So I will have two solutions, one of the solutions for 2x minus 1 and one for x plus 6. So to make 2x minus 1 equal to 0, I would solve that. So x is equal to 1/2. And then for x plus 6 to be 0, I would subtract 6, so x is equal to negative 6. So the solution set for number 10, negative 6 and 1/2. Number 11, we have 5x squared minus 3x plus 3 equals 3 minus 2x squared. All right, need to set this equal to 0, so I have to subtract 3 and add 2x squared. So subtract 3, add 2x squared. Those would cancel, those would cancel. So I have 7x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. Those cancel. Okay, factoring this is pretty easy because I just have to factor out the GCF of x. Leaves me with 7x minus 3. So neither of these can be factored any further, so these will provide my solution. So either x is 0, which would make this whole thing 0, or 7x minus 3 is 0. So solving that for x leaves me with x being equal to 3 over 7. So I've got two solutions, 0 and 3 over 7. All right, number 12, 3x squared minus 8x minus 19 equals x minus 1 squared. This one's a little bit more difficult. First, I need to make sure both sides are simplified. So the right side is not simplified yet. I have to actually do the multiplication to simplify it. So I need to distribute x squared minus x plus 1, which is x squared minus 2x plus 1. So I have 3x squared minus 8x minus 19 equals x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now I need to move everything to the left side or the right side. I need to equal to 0 in standard form, so I'll subtract x squared, I'll add 2x, and I'll subtract 1. So I'll subtract x squared, add 2x, and subtract 1. That would cancel, cancel, and cancel. So I got 2x squared minus 6x minus 20 is equal to 0. Now I need to factor this. I'll start by factoring out the GCF of 2. So I've got x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. And then I'll factor this right here. So a times c is negative 10, b is negative 3. So I'm looking for negative 5 and positive 2. So x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 Factor the GCF out of the first two, so x minus 5. Factor 2 out of the second two, so x minus 5. So it factors into x minus 5 and x plus 2. So I got 2 times x minus 5 times x plus 2. Okay, so this will be 0 if x minus 5 is 0 or x plus 2 is 0. So if x minus 5 is 0, that means x would have to be 5. So 5 is one of the solutions. If x plus 2 is 0, then x would have to be negative 2. So negative 2 is one of the solutions. So my solution set is 5, negative 2. Those are my two solutions to number 12. Number 13 says the area of a rectangle is 30 square feet and the sides are x and 3x plus 1. So I have x times 3x plus 1, because the two sides, is equal to the area, which is 30. Okay, so I can put this in standard form. 3x squared plus 3 is equal to 30. Or sorry, 3x squared plus 3x is equal to 30. I can set this equal to 0. So I got 3x squared plus 3x minus 30 is equal to 0. And then I can solve this by factoring. So I can take out the GCF, which is 3. So x squared plus x minus 10 equals 0. And then I can factor this right here. So a times c is negative 10, b is positive 1. The two numbers I'm looking for that multiply to negative 10 and add to positive 1. Whoops, I made a mistake here. So close. That's not supposed to be 3x. X times 1 is just x. So let me fix that. X times 3x. X times 1 is x. So let's go back. That's actually an x. Okay, so let me just start this over. So distribute the x, 3x squared plus x equals 30. Subtract 30. So 3x squared plus x minus 30 equals 0. Okay, so there is no GCF. So kind of messed that up. All right, a times c is negative 90 and b is positive 1. So two numbers that multiply to negative 90 and add to positive 1 are positive 10 and negative 9. Okay, so I can do grouping. So 3x squared minus 9x plus 10x minus 30 equals 0. And then factor the GCF out of the first two and the second two. So 3x is the GCF of the first two, leaving me with x minus 3. And 10 is the GCF of the second two, leaving x minus 3. X minus 3 can be factored out of both of them, so x minus 3 comes out, leaving 3x plus 10. So I have two solutions here, because I can solve x minus 3 for 0, which leaves me with the solution 3. Or I can solve 3x plus 10 equals 0, leaving me with the solution x is equal to negative 10 over 3. However, remember I was trying to find the value of x, and x represents a side length of a rectangle. So since I cannot have a negative side length, the negative answer, or the negative solution, is not viable. So the only solution possible is x equals 3 for number 13. Number 14, the area of the square is 49 square feet, and it is a square, so both sides would be the same. So both sides are 2x plus 3. So I have 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3 is equal to 49. All right, so I would put this into standard form. So I got 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9 equals 49. Combine like terms. 4x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals 49. Set this equal to 0, so subtract 49. 4x squared plus 12x minus 40 is equal to 0, and then solve this by factoring. So first I'll factor out the GCF. So I got x squared plus 3x minus 10. And then I need to factor this, x squared plus 3x minus 10. So I got negative 10, positive 3. Two numbers that multiply would be positive 5 and negative 2. So x squared plus 3x minus 10 can be broken into x squared. I'll do the negative one first. X squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 10. Factor the GCF out of these two, leaving x minus 2. Factor the GCF out of these two, leaving x minus 2. X minus 2 factors out of both of them, leaving x plus 5. So that factors into so I got 4 on the outside, and then it factors in x minus 2 and x plus 5. Okay, well, these multiply to make 0, so either x minus 2 is 0, meaning x equals 2 is a solution, or x plus 5 equals 0, meaning x equals negative 5 is a solution. Well, remember, we're talking about side length, and the side length of each of them is 2x plus 3. So if we plug in negative 5, that would make the side length negative. It would make the side length negative 7. So this provides a negative side length, so that's not a possible solution. So this is the only possible solution is 2, which would provide us with a side length of 7, because 4 plus 3 would be 7. So this is the only possible solution, or the only possible value for x would be 2. All right, and I think that is all of the problems here.